Michaela was driving her Volkswagen Golf down a highway in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Watch what happened when a pickup driver swerved without checking his blind spot to avoid a car that had stopped. The pickup cut off a minivan, and the driver had no chance to stop before hitting the back of the pickup. While the minivan rolled over, the pickup spun into Michaela's lane and she hit it head-on. Incredibly, there were no serious injuries. Unfortunately, all three vehicles involved were totaled. Simon was headed home from work when a Porsche came flying up behind his Audi Q3. The Porsche driver tried to blame the sun for blinding her, but that doesn't explain why she was driving so fast. Simon has moderate whiplash, and both vehicles were totaled. A few minutes after the crash, her mother and friends showed up with a tow truck and tried to quickly get Simon's info so they could leave. Simon knew something wasn't right, so he made them wait for the police, and they were not happy. When the cops arrived, they gave the driver of the Porsche a breathalyzer test. We don't know what the results were, but we do know that she was immediately arrested. Simon wanted to shout out everyone who stopped to help, especially an off-duty cop who kept him from having a panic attack. He also said he's thinking about replacing his Audi with a Tesla.
They're just saying it. They're saying women are being taken and men are being taken for their labor. I don't know how they could be more clear.
Yeah, that's powerful. All right, and again, that's from Ireland. Let's go ahead and talk now.
This submitter was driving down a highway in Iowa when a truck driver failed to see a sedan before changing lanes, sending the sedan hurtling across the highway and directly in front of our submitter. Our submitter had no chance to stop in time, slamming into the side of the other car. The other car was totaled, and our submitter's Chevy Bolt EUV sustained $12,000 in damage. The semi-truck was just scratched, according to the submitter. Fortunately, there were no serious injuries. Daniel was driving his Mercedes E350 that he'd only owned for 5 months. On his way home from school, another driver pulled out in front of him, causing a collision. The other driver was unlicensed, uninsured, and not even wearing a seatbelt. As a result, he had mild injuries and was taken to a hospital to be checked out. Daniel's own insurance provider is paying for the damage, which will end up costing around $5,400 to fix. Car. Ouch! Maybe if you're gonna spend $150,000 on a luxury electric car, you should take a beginner's driving course before getting behind the wheel.
Cuando estaba joven, comienza a jugar en la NFL. Te voy a dar un dato muy importante. Él era agente libre no seleccionado en el draft. Esto significa que es así como que...
Was using an express lane on a Florida highway when another car passed him at high speed. As it did, one of its tires exploded, sending it into the median barrier before bouncing back across every lane of the highway. Jacob wasn't in a position to stop due to the high volume of traffic. He's just glad he wasn't involved in the incident. Akash and a friend were looking for a parking spot to attend day 2 of WasabiCon. Unfortunately, the driver behind them wasn't paying attention and rear-ended them when they stopped for traffic. Eyes on the road, people! This isn't even the first time Akash has been rear-ended. He made an insurance claim and included his dashcam footage. Repairs will cost over $600 US. Marianne captured a perfect example of why you shouldn't try to race a yellow light. A car came flying through the intersection from the left, smashing into another driver who was making an unprotected left turn. The car then rolled down an embankment and hit a pole. Marianne sent her dashcam footage to the police, but she doesn't know what happened or who was determined to be at fault. This submitter was headed home from work about an hour after it had rained. Suddenly, the vehicle in front of him lost control and started spinning. Our submitter suspects that this vehicle had low tire tread and wanted to remind our viewers to check your tires and don't delay changing them if they need it. Kamal was headed home to get some dinner after work when he watched a black Hyundai being driven by a teenage girl smash into a white Mercedes being driven by an elderly woman. At first, Kamal wasn't going to stop, but when he heard the teenage girl accusing the elderly woman of pulling out in front of her through his open window, he knew he had to stick around and set the record straight. He waited for police to arrive and showed them his dashcam footage on his iPad, for which they, and the Mercedes driver, I'm sure, were very grateful.